And here I am, folks. I am at Claypots Castle, which was a stronghold for the Strachan family in the 16th century. Now, Bro and I have been here before. We went looking for something, I can't remember what it was now, someone on the top row found it, but I'll just give you a quick little tour of this fantastic castle, which is in the middle of this residential area. And it is still in remarkably great condition. And they do have open doors days every now and again. Right, I'll be quiet and I'll just give you a quick look at the So we leave Claypots Castle behind and we're now going to head into sort of West Broughty Ferry and get in towards the sort of like where it meets the outer suburbs of Dundee. Now I'd just like to say to everybody who watched my Broughty Ferry stroll video, thank you very much indeed for the lovely comments that I received over that one. So thank you very much for watching and subscribing and just commenting and being generally very nice, everybody. Thank you, appreciate it, excellent, makes it all worthwhile. Right folks, here I am now on Victoria Road, which is obviously named after Queen Victoria. I think every town's got a Victoria Street somewhere. Now this is one of the only few remaining cobbled streets in the ferry. A tramway used to run this way between here and Albert Street, just down the bottom here. And there were loads of mansions here. Some of them are demolished, as you can see. Some of them are now getting turned into sort of residential homes and all that. There's a few big ones here though. Most of them were owned by like the Jute Barons of Dundee and the industry sort of greed heads of their time. They lived in this area. This was a very affluent area in Dundee, the West Ferry this is. Now over there is Wimberley Court, that's where Rosie's mum and dad stay, and that was named after General James Wimberley or something. He was an RAF dude. Just rack my memory bank, see if I can find out a bit now. This is Wimberley Court, where Rosie's mum and dad stay. This is named after General Major Douglas Neil Wimberley, who was a commander at the Battle of El Alamein. And they've just put these up recently, and they named it after him, Wimberley Court. There you go. Now I'm looking for Astree Mansion, which I think could be this one here. Oh, hang on, what's this? Astree House. Access on the corner with Albert Road. Okay, and this is Astree House, which was built by Thomas Henry Smith, whose son went on to become some famous RAF dude and was posthumously awarded the Victoria Cross for his heroics at some battle in India. Don't quote me on the, I'm just trying to remember things, folks. I'm not very good at that sort of thing. So it's now just sort of like residential homes again, as you can see. I'm sure I've been to a party in there before, because I remember that greenhouse at the back there. There's some sort of barbecue in there, so I'm sure I've been in there, folks. And that's the gatehouse there, which has now been just made into a nice modern little bungalow. Now this is 32, the stables, where I assume there were stables. And this leads me up nicely onto, see, the only thing about cobbles is they make a horrific noise when you're driving on them. Which leads me on to Douglas House, which was owned by, I'm sure it's Mr. Orca, who gave his name to one of the parks down at the front of Broughty Ferry, Orca Park, and it's got a big arch, and I'm sure it's named after him. Let me go and have a look, see if it is. Yes, indeed it is. James Guthrie Orca, that's his name. He owned this, and he actually owned two Stradivarius violins, or Stradivarii, I suppose you would call them. So, yeah, nice house, that one. And here we are, folks, at the scene in Grove Road of a most horrific crime that's still not been solved. This is Elm Grove House, where in 1912 an eccentric old lady, Jean Milne, was found dead at the bottom of her stairs. Now she had loads of jewellery, none of that had been taken, she'd been battered over the back of her head by a poker, and nobody knows why. She used to have many boyfriends, a lot younger than her, and she used to travel all the time in first class carriages and everything like this, so she had many suspects who could have killed her, but they just could not prove anything at all. So the mystery of Jean Milne and why she was killed still rankles with the population here at Elm Grove. Now, the part of Grove Road that I am on now, which has been dissected by Strathern Road, used to be called Edward Street, and back in the Victorian times there was much debate about which side was the better looking side. Grove Road residents said their side was much better than this side, Edward Street here, which was named after one of the Edwards. It's now called Grove Road after some debate had gone on, so I'm not sure why it changed its name, but yes, back in the days of the feuding rich, see where the rich are concerned, they just feud about petty things, don't they, really, you know. Anyway, and why is Strathern Road called Strathern Road? Yes, I think Strathern Road is named after one of Queen Victoria's nephews or sons or something, because, well, the whole area, this part is steeped in sort of royal names like Victoria, Albany, Albert, all that kind of stuff. So I'm sure Strathern has got something to do with Mr. Strathern or the Earl of Strathern or something. And right behind me here, Gartlands was a kind of one of these finishing schools for posh ladies, yes. I think that's as far as I'm going to go now, though, because a lot of residents are now looking at me and wondering what's going on. Right. Right, folks, well, that's the end of my stroll for this morning. Thank you very much for watching, and stay tuned, because tomorrow I'll be going out and concentrating on my own little area and my childhood houses and the area that we used to cycle around and walk about and play, just sort of over that way a little bit. So that'll be tomorrow, folks, so stay tuned for that. In the meantime, over and out, comrades. (1853 to 1940) he was. Actually, I'm going to start thinking, so people annoyed. I think it's actually General Douglas Neil. Oh, I've said that wrong again. No, right, this is Ace 3 House, which was owned by, can't remember his name now, Thomas. Honestly.